Well, hi, it's Dr. Paul Feuerstein, the editor-in-chief of Dentistry today. And I have someone here who needs no introduction, Mark.
Yeah.
This is Dr. Mark Hyman. If you didn't know that, there's something wrong with you. How are you, Mark?
Paul, I'm great. Good to see you again, bud. Great being here in Chicago.
Mark and I have been doing dentistry for many more years than we cared to talk about. But the last 30 of those years have been kind of influenced by a certain company, haven't they?
Sure, I had the privilege of 32 years in private practice in Greensboro, North Carolina. Now I have the privilege of teaching at the UNC Adams School of Dentistry in Chapel Hill. I loved my 32 years of private practice, and one of the coolest things to me was partnering with great companies like Philips.
No, Mark, they always gave the big lie.
The big lie is, do you floss religiously, which means Easter and Hanukkah, Christmas, right? Do you floss? Not as much as I should.
Yeah.
And you're like, don't you want to just smack them? And the reality is it's got to be something better in dentistry than that. Research tells us about 5% of our patients floss every day. So if only a company could come up with something that would really be healthy for the patients and easy to use, that would be really cool. And that's what Philips did when they came up with the Power Flosser. It was simply unbelievable. The way that you get more of the plaque bacteria, less bleeding, just your dentistry would hold up so much better. So this was a wonderful innovation and something that is just easy to use and really affordable.
But let's back up about 30 years. They first came out with the power toothbrush, which was kind of an amazing thing. All the toothbrushes prior to that were going around and around and spinning around. What did they do?
Right. So one of the cool things for Philips with the Sonicare, we've used it for decades in our practice, and the result was just amazing. For our hygienists, we would have them talk to the patients. I think a big issue was, what are your goals for your health and your teeth and your smile? How healthy do you want to be? How soon you want to get there? So that would be a way to motivate the patients instead of say you need to floss and you need to do these things. So we tried to solve their problems. If they wanted fresher breath, they wanted whiter teeth, they didn't want their gums to bleed, they wanted their dentistry to last longer. So this was a great way to do it.
And that last point you made, the dentistry to last longer, they spent umpteen dollars to get this thing fixed, hours in the chair. Have some skin in the game, literally. I mean, really. You can't just say, here you are, you're all fixed. You're not all fixed.
You know, for us as dentists, Paul, it's kind of cruel for us to do some sophisticated dentistry on a patient that they can't maintain. So when all we had was handheld manual brushes and floss that they weren't using and the dentistry was failing, you didn't know who to blame. Was it the lab? Was it the doctor? Was it the patient? It's easy to blame the lab when a lot of times it was our design. So thank God for Philips, because they came up with amazing toothbrushes, the power toothbrushes and the power flossers, which really helped us keep our patients healthier.
Actually, the original flosser the original dental floss was sort of a little tube, a little container. You put water in, there's a little hose with it, and then they've changed that too.
Right. So what's really kind of cool when you can have a handheld power flosser like this, it's convenient, you can travel with it easy.
You know, and it's up to us to explain to the patients why this is all good. They go, well, do I really have to use this? Well, yes, you do.
Well, you know, I would argue, no, you don't. But if you want to have your dentistry last longer, for me, one of the biggest important things that everybody needs to realize is now the link we have between gum disease and heart disease, gum disease and diabetes, low birth weight babies, premature babies, Alzheimer's, all the itises.
Yeah, I mean, this whole systemic system has just been all over the place now. It's very hot right now. And then if they didn't have all the fancy dentistry we did, they might have wanted to lighten their teeth a little bit. So Philips also has that answer too.
Certainly. So, man, the single number one requested procedure in dentistry today is tooth whitening. So I challenge my audience, I challenge my students, why don't you have that on your health history? Why don't you ask everybody, would you like your teeth whiter? And so the ways to whiten traditionally, you could come in and we would make impressions in the office, custom make the trays ourselves using a day white or night white, or we had the Zoom with the power tooth whitening where you could get 8 shade changes in about 45 minutes, which is incredible. If patients came into you and me, Paul, and said, it's Wednesday, I'm getting married this weekend. Oh my God, we didn't used to have a good solution. Now we can say, jump in the chair and let's dance. With people life being so busy now, and some people don't like to take impressions, and some people don't want to make their own trays. So what a cool thing now is you can just, you can scan your patient, send the impression to the lab will make the whitening trays and send that and the material to the patient. So what a great convenience, what a great way to increase patient utilization. Whiter teeth leads to so much more pride and ownership and patients considering doing other things in the dental field.
So I would just like to say to Philips, wherever you are, thank you for these last 30 years, and let's look forward to the next 30 and see what's got coming out.
Absolutely. You know, when Paul, you get a product that has the Philips name on it, you know it's been tested.
Oh, absolutely.
You know it's going to be convenient for the patient. It's going to be scientifically based in the research, and ergonomically, it's going to be easy to use.
And we both know we've done some hand testing of some of the early processes and the prototypes and said, this didn't work, this didn't hold right, this could do this balances this better. And they spent umpteen hours and money to get this thing proper before it reaches the public or us.
You know, it's so easy to say, well, what's the cheapest in the field? And cheapest isn't always better. And that gets me back to the patient with us saying, what are your goals? You want to save time, you want to save money, you want whiter teeth, you want fresher breath, you want less bleeding, you don't want to die because of your plaque bacteria seeds your heart and you have heart issues. So whatever your challenge is, whatever your interest is, your goals are, Philips partners with us in dentistry to have a great solution.
Great. And again, thank you, Philips, for the past 30 years, and let's see what's going on in the next 30.
Here's at least 30 more.
Thanks.
Whether Paul and I will be here or not, we'll see, but we so appreciate you all.
We'll crawl in. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
Always good
to see you. Thank you.